this way before. It must be you and I. It's got me thinking about us more. It's these bright lights, they put me in a daze, and I can't stop but think about the way that you move around up and down on that stage. It's your future vibes.
Welcome everyone, it is round 8, it is Britain, we're halfway through the season, and I am joined by a commentator who has been the co-commentator for now 3 tiers, Milo Gaming. How's it going?
Hello everyone, good evening. Yeah, real privilege to be able to commentate tier 3 for the first time, so yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you, of course, especially home race as well. It's great to have you. But yeah, I've got to talk about a few things. Last week as well. We have to go over last week. Memorable weekend from ARL, I'd say, for sure. Something we won't forget. After Xbox Live problems, a championship league going from 67, heading into Hungary, and then 16 then after last race, after Austria. Hungary was 2 races ago. 51 points Davis has gained. It's insane to think about that. Regardless of that, how has this all happened? It's been insane. Tier 3 this season, we've 7 races in, we've had 4 different winners, so the start of a brand new tier in this league. Hey, I mean, it's working out the way it has been, so I think we got to be happy about this as well. So now don't have the logo for the points up. I do have the points though up on the screen, just not many drivers. So here's what we got. Point standings. So I'm sure Milo, you can probably see it on the screen as well right now. This is what the point standings look like though. So Chevy Giant leads the point standings, and he's leading by 16 points over Davis. Everyone third on back is 50 points down. Toro Rosso and Williams 30 points split them. And Williams, everyone third on back is a race behind, 47 points or more behind. Last race, 20 points, 20 drivers, top 20. 3 drivers in the top 20 score points. That's something we probably won't have ever again. How did that happen? And just basically explain that.
We know that Chevy Giant has obviously been absent for a couple of races, so he was ruled out of it. Davis, though, he's won 2 on the bounce now, so he has been, just incredible, really, and is definitely the one to try and beat if he can get another win today and take the championship lead. But other than that, just back to Austria. To be fair, a few drivers couldn't make it due to the postponement and the new time, but in fact, yeah, there was 3 DNFs, so that was Raptor, CJ and T-Rock, so it's not like many people DNF'd, it's just a lack of pace and others shining through at a track like Austria.
Right. Yeah, something I want to mention though is the fact of the matter, the last 2 races have really probably been the best 2 Tier 3 races yet that we've seen. There's been many things going on back and forth with Tier 3. We've had, I believe, if I'm correct, in, just trying to think, since Spain, we've had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 9 podium spots available have been different guys. So, Tier 3 has been very competitive the last few weeks. Maybe not as much for the win, but definitely a lot for the podium spots. And there's been a lot that have changed. A lot of home races for these guys. Something I want to mention about a lot of guys. Britain, the UK has now overtaken the US as for most drivers with that nationality in this league. Well, I mean, we exclude Scotland and Wales from Britain, but still, regardless of that, that's still an impressive stat to think of. And most of the drivers here in this league have this as their home race, and I mean, others have USA as well. So, definitely something to look forward to for this being a home race for a lot of guys. But in general, the last few races have been pretty interesting, if that's the way you want to look at it, because it's just going back and forth between a lot of guys as well. We've seen a ton of guys be at the front. We've seen a ton of guys switch positions. We've seen the race outcomes become completely different than we would thought it would be. And some guys here in this list today return to ARL, return to league racing as well. So some names I'll be mentioning right there. Names I want to mention myself, though, that are returning to league racing and returning to the league as well. We have Mr. Ian Bones. After a 4-race absence, I'm pretty sure, something like that. He is now returning to ARL, and he is in McLaren, not for a full-time ride, but for a few races. Pluto has hired him, and we also have, as well as hold up, check. Alright, we have as well returning, or not making his first start, Harrison making his first start. H2O returns to league racing and comes here as well. Money Games, we saw him last week as well. He made his first start last week in ARL. But some home races, though, for a lot of guys, such as Burning Man. Who else is there that's a home race? So fully goes under the wall. There is CJ Pants, Akenboss, just to name some of the guys who have home races here. Hissy, as well. Data Lucas, kind of a home race for him. But yeah, that's kind of the way it goes for them as well. So yeah, let's get into this qualifying session so far. So Data Lucas leads the charts by 2/10. What do you look at most here, Milo?
I knew I was going to do it. Dada Lucas on a flying lap then. He leads GSR Patriot, who is on his out lap, by 3/10. His driving style, we know, has been very, very smooth, and he does get an advantage through that. Not too much over excessive revving of the engine, like I know some Tier 3 drivers do. Just committed through the fast sequences of corners, no flicking the wheel, just one smooth input, and that's what you need at a circuit around here. He's up on his time, and that will really make the difference for him and the rest of the field in this qualifying session.
We also have, as well, a lot of drivers close to one another. Joseph, 7th on the leaderboards. After that, Ollie Mason goes up to 5th. Davis and Terry, parking. The 2 Toro Rosso drivers, and Data Lucas there, 126.7, and that is pole position by 5/10. The McLaren also, as well. Harrison, in his first start, is coming to the line to complete a lap. And where does he stand compared to the rest of the field? He's going to stay in 13th, but behind that, there is the Renault of GSR Raptor up on his time. Can he go into the top 15? Yes, no, he doesn't. Just barely misses out on that. The Ferrari is behind that as well. Burning Man, home race for him, first time for him as well. He comes to the line, and he gets ahead of Money Games. Behind that, there's Alfa Romeo. Aaron Ocon goes 13th. The Haas of Ollie Mason, I think that was, is going to stay. No, that was not Ollie Mason. That was a different Haas. That was T-Rock going 18th. There's the Mercedes. I believe that's Luke B. Oh my god, we have a record hit view for ARL, 27 views in one stream. But Luke B goes up to 8th place, and Ollie Mason stays 5th. Now, the 2 Toro Rosso boys come to the line. They're slipstreaming each other. How's this all going to work out? Does that toe from Davis and Terry get them pole position. To the line they go. It is Davis staying third, 100th down in Fire King. Goes up to 10th. The Racing Point crosses the line as well. GSR Patriot stays second. The Mercedes of Sync comes to the line. It's not enough. But then behind that is the Williams of Data Lucas, who takes pole position. What could be his first win today, we'll have to find out in this race.
Yeah, wanted to remind everyone as well that drivers are reporting some rain in the latter stages of the race. So, out of the top 10, it is not over for them yet. They can start on a fresh set of maybe medium tyres, try and stretch it out to the end, either fit on intermediates or put on fresh soft tyres and have the grip advantage for those struggling around him if it doesn't quite go to intermediate conditions. So all hope is not lost for the bottom 10.
Very close qualifying session from really third and back, but second closest pole position margin for the year of Tier 3, Data Lucas and Patriot. Davis, second in points. Hissy, third in points. Third and fourth, and Ollie Mason in the top 5, along with Fire King, last week's top 5 finisher in the top 10. Bones as well in the top 10. Luke B, Joseph, Sink, just to name a few guys. But we have already hit 27 viewers during the stream.
Oh,
and it is raining. It is raining.
Wow. Never mind.
Oh.
We were lied to.
But when does it stop? Yeah, we were lied. Well, now rain at the start. But regardless of that, 27 viewers during one stream at ARL. We previously had 25 during a Tier 2 race. Tier 3, good. And the home race of F1, the race where it's kind of the home race for most of the league. 27 viewers at one point in the stream already. And we're not even 12 minutes. We're not even 15 minutes in. We're not even at the race yet. So, great numbers right there. Rain in the whole race, apparently, from what I'm being told. Okay. Oh boy.
Welcome to England.
Who chooses to start at what? It is intermediates for these guys. So, it's up to you, Milo. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? It's up to you.
I'll allow you to go first.
Alright, well, I kind of have some more experience around these guys at this track, especially Data Lucas. I'm going to go with him. Data Lucas in his Williams. This is his 5th start. Apparently it dries up at the end. Okay. Yeah. Thrasher says Tier 3. How does it feel? I hear you. Yeah, so, Data Lucas. Technically home race. That's where Data Lucas live now, but Polish driver though. So, thing is with Data Lucas, he makes his 5th start in ARL today. The thing is about that, Rapalukas, his son, took his first win in his 5th start in the 6th race of ARL. This is the 8th race, but this is Data Lucas' 5th start. Can Data Lucas pull it off? I've raced him here before. He's very good in race pace. He's very good in quality pace. But the thing is, he's going to have to hold on in these conditions. Does it dry up at the end of the race? The thing is, remember, it dried up at the end of Hungary. He didn't choose the right strategy. He has to try the right thing. No pit stops needed today. That is correct. Davis took a 7 as well in 3rd place. I want to go with him. He's 2nd in points. If there's a day he needs to gain on Chevy Giant the most, I think today is the 2nd day of that compared to last week. He needs to gain a lot on these guys. And if he can do so, if he gets a 2nd place finish today or 3rd with fastest lap, he then ties or takes the championship lead. And I'm sure Davis wants to do that. I'm also going to go with... I'm gonna go with Mr. Ian and the Bones. Last season in this race, he was running toward the top 5, was taken out by GSR Silent, and was running in the midfield toward Hissy and him. Hissy and Bones, kind of a mix between those two of who my favorite is. I'm gonna go with Bones though, just because of the fact Bones has had pace before here, and I've seen him do very well here. Now, in these conditions, can he change it up and maybe get a podium for the first time in ARL? Who are your 3 favorites, Milo? I know I kind of wasted half your time.
It's alright. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ollie Mason. Correct me quickly if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Yeah, good. So, starting from 5th in his home Grand Prix, we'll see what he can do. Can he navigate his way around Hissy and Davis at the start? That will set him up in a good position for maybe a podium today. And Akimbos in the Williams, they are still fighting for that all-important Constructors' Championship. There's actually a glitch going on at the back there. There's a Ferrari out of position, so just watch out for that, for the lights coming on.
5 red lights. The home Grand Prix of F1. Here we go. That Ferrari is glitched now, but this might delay the start. But here we go for the green flag. We are waving. We are green and here in Britain. And now Dada Lucas gets a great start, but side by side for second between Patriot and Davis. Davis runs out wide, gets in the grass, and now cars going off in the very back. There's a safety car. There's a bunch of crashes at the very back out of the race. There goes Money Games. H2O was involved, and so is Luke B. But Fire King, after a top 5 last week, involved as well. Burning Man in his home race, I believe, was involved as well. VSC.
That was quite a start. Yeah, Davis was forced to take some grass there into farm curve at turn 2.
A lot of 5 seconds.
He is, yeah, still behind GSR Patriot here. Ollie Mason lost 2 positions. Technically 1 actually because of the glitch start, so my bad there. 1 position off the start. Not ideal. He's got a second. A bit of a messy start.
Get caught up in turn 1. What happened all there? I would recommend Joseph use at the position because he had a glitch there and he had some lag happen. But if that stays the way it is, and here comes for the race lead, really, Patriot and Dada Lucas. Patriot tried it down the inside of Cops, and Akimboss gets by Ollie Mason, who's gonna get turned into the wall, into the barrier with a missing front wing. And pulling out in front of the racetrack in the back, there's an orange McLaren. That's Harrison around. Aaron Ocon, 5 seconds first stop for ignoring the yellow flag. Now,
here comes Patriot.
Lead. Down the inside here, into Stowe. Patriot gets around the inside and goes ahead of Dada Lucas. And here comes Davis into the chicane. Not enough.
Sink
and here
goes
comes
down the inside.
Sink only has a finish, a 1 points finish in the points down in Singapore. It was. He had a points finish, and Joseph finally has been dropped to the back of the grid after that glitch that happened. I have to find out what goes. Now he's dropped back to the front of the grid.
6 spins, massive off there, going through turn 1. Resets the track.
Resetting onto the track. Yeah, that's gonna be.
We saw that.
We mentioned that already. We saw that as a rule. We saw that as a rule, so that will be a 5 seconds. Now, did he avoid hitting the wall? Who knows? We'll have to find out. We did mention that would be a penalty, though, because that did save him, and that could have been very dangerous in front of the whole field. That could have been race ending. CJ Pants trying on Bones as well, but for position, I believe Joseph gets passed there by Dada Lucas. Now Davis, Joseph having a few internet problems, but now we actually see who the real race leader is with Patriot with a 1.4 second lead.
Oh, I think that was lag, but Akimbo's just smashed his rear right tyre, but he gets away with damage, so I believe that was lag. It's very hard to tell, but
Bones
I don't think he's
CJ
actually
Pants.
driving that car.
Bones is gaining up to that. Yeah, I don't think he is as well. But yeah, Joseph, this is not the first time he's lagged this season, so that for sure it looks like Spain would be investigated because of the collision, I guess, and issues it's caused. But for second place, Dada Lucas and Davis. Now, when does this rain stop, Milo? Because we see it. We see the clouds staying the same, the sun barely there. I mean, Patriot taking the fastest lap. We see it, I mean, from the drivers, I hear it could possibly stop raining at the end of the race. We see Sink pit.
Well, obviously if we get a safety car, the laps will be extended significantly, so we'll have an even higher chance of getting a dry phase towards the end, but that all depends, obviously, if we do get a safety car. If not, there's a high chance we could stay on into the full race, and
yellow flag! Ollie Mason is the one around this time.
Really struggling in the wet, not how I predicted.
Bones right here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say. I don't know. With the internet, I mean, if it's a continuous thing, yeah, definitely, that's the way it would go. But yeah, I mean, we didn't see any problems in Austria. We did see problems though today, so we'll be looking at that. CJ Pants goes around the outside of Bones, heading into Cop's corner, and CJ Pants is actually ahead for P6. So positions gained here from this whole thing. Akimbo's 6 positions gained. 6 positions gained from CJ Pants as well. Same with H2O Snail. Burning Man up 7 positions, up to 12th, which could be his best league racing result so far. If he just stays in that position, now Aaron Ocon gets by Joseph, which is now ghosted instead of staying on the track, which is good. We will be looking at that lag though, because that's not the first time it's happened, and we do want to prevent anything happening with people lagging and causing issues. Anyways, 3 seconds between the race lead between Data Lucas and GSR Patriot, and 3.7 it continues. Davis close to DRS range when that gets enabled, and he is within it, but he's close enough, not close enough yet for an overtake, but he should be close enough in the stages towards Sector 2. Hissy and Akimbos stay close as well for 7 tenths, now 9 tenths for P4, but the gap for the race lead has changed massively, Milo. 2.4 now.
Yeah, good Sector 1 from Dada Lucas. He's on a personal best as well, so he's really starting to feel more comfortable in these conditions and almost breaking the slipstream to Davis as well, but he actually does get a better exit there, so that wasn't a brilliant comment to make.
But the different, oh, and Joseph is joined back apparently. But the difference between Joseph and Lane was like the stuff with our lane has happened before. T-Rock does go off with Raptor. Doesn't bring out a safety car though. Yet to see one. Well, just some best finishes from last week. Aaron Ocon got a P8 last week. He's currently running P8 that would be his best finish, tying it for the 3rd time in a row. Davis, though, if he sits in this position right now, Davis would be 1 point behind Chevy Giant with the point standings. So the way it stands now, heading into the chicane, Davis is trying to gain all he can on Dada Lucas, because if he gets by, he takes the championship lead and avoids Chevy Giant pulling out that gap. If he gets by, or if he stays in the position he is in now compared to Dada Lucas, as Dada Lucas has a little bit of a wiggle and gets sideways, but he does get by him. And Davis ahead of Dada Lucas for P2.
Not really an overtaking zone, but he's made the most of it up the inside of turn 2. Well timed there from Davis. Now we'll see what his pace is like compared to Patriot. Was he stuck there behind Dada Lucas and unable to really show what he's capable of in these conditions? We'll have to wait and find out. Meanwhile, CJ Pan... Oh, there's a yellow flag.
Ollie Mason is the one around this time. Getting back on the track, trying to get back on safely. T-Rock and Raptor, who collided earlier, go for 16th, but most importantly, I'd say P8, Aaron Ocon and H2O have split, flowing fully in this Alfa Romeo sandwich. Down toward P8, Floyd Foley, a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit sideways there from Floyd Foley out of the long right-hander, and now heading to Cop's corner. Here comes H2O Snail trying to gain, and he's down the inside of Floyd Foley, but not enough for a racing move to be deemed. I wouldn't try to assume anyone's causing a safety car or trying to. I mean, we don't see people just stopping on the racetrack trying to do that. We don't see that. I don't think Ollie's doing that. So I wouldn't assume that, but Kimbos and CJ Pants stay close again. 4 tenths is that gap, but when does this stop raining? I was told it was supposed to stop raining. I was told it was raining in the full race. I don't know what's happening. I mean, we don't know because getting told different things. Yellow flag again. That is Ollie Mason, I think, out of the pit lane this time, out of turn 1. And I think someone else has gone off. Davis has gone off as well, out of turn 2. Davis has gone off. And now that's costed him a chance at second, which Dada Lucas takes over. And now the gap between the race lead is at 6.5 seconds.
Patriot is running away with this. This is incredible driving from Patriot. Not something I've ever seen before from him.
Fire King hits the back of Harrison. A little bit of a tap from Fire King as well. Sink taking the fastest lap, but Sink, remember, I'm sure, I would hope someone clips it after what happened and Ollie Mason letting the leaders go. 7.1 that gap now between the race lead Data Lucas really not gaining much on Patriot, but Patriot, you know, after a quality ban that wasn't served in Hungary, he was denied of a race win. In Austria, he was probably denied of another race win as well. Got demoted to Tier 3, and now he's showing what he's actually capable of doing with his pace and what he's able to do in these races by finishing up front and by actually having the pace. Yellow flag again. I think that's Ollie Mason this time. It is for the 5th time.
Akimbo's got a really poor exit. CJ Pants is coming through at Stowe.
Burning Man overtakes his teammate Joseph for 11th place, but Akimbo is going down the inside of CJ side by side, and I think Burning Man is going off there at the Meggins and Beckett, and so has Ollie Mason. Ollie's now retired from the race. Was that part of rage, or was that just the retirement from the game? Probably won't bring out a safety car, but for P6 it stays close. 7.8 the gap between the race lead. Now, is it going to rain for the whole race? Is it going to stop at any point? What's all going to go on? Will we see even rain for Tier 2 tomorrow?
We're over half distance now, and I really don't see any sort of shift in any sort of shift in the clouds or raindrops. So I don't think it will dry up, but I could be wrong.
Who knows? Oh, wait, I see a little bit less dry, but I still see it raining. I thought I saw it a little bit more dry, but it wasn't. It's still raining little by little. But, hey, we can see it dry up in the next lap or two. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Either way, we could even see a safety car. We don't know what all could go on because a lot of the drivers struggle in these conditions sometimes, and I think it's almost stopped raining. It's not raining as hard as it was before, so there's definitely a lot of change with the conditions right now. And CJ and Hissy, both Red Bull teammates, stay close here for P4. I believe they're close in the constructors' standings. Hissy took a podium back in Hungary, where he almost had the race win. Was denied of that, and now the track is dry. So,
yeah,
when do people go for dry tires? When's the right time?
Well,
I think next lap though. Next lap or two, because of the spray, of course.
Yeah, obviously they've got to shift the standing water first with the intermediates, but Patriot, Dada Lucas and Davis are in really good positions here. They are far ahead of their respective teammates and have lots of time to be able to pit and potentially not hold. Excuse the mic, oh my days. The likes of Hissy and CJ Pants. Hissy wants to hold on to track position, so he has first choice, but CJ Pants could be held up and have to do an extra lap on tyres that will burn out, so there's a lot to think about during this phase.
Joseph, he might be the first one to pit for dry tires. Now, we saw the change of conditions in Hungary, how other drivers such as Davis got a better race and got a better kind of traction and better than everyone else in those conditions. Harrison has left the session, make sure he's invited back, and Joseph is changing his front wing as well, and I think that's Dada Lucas out there off us, and he resets to the racetrack. Dada Lucas goes off the track right there at Cop's Corner with damage.
He's now behind his teammate. He's gone from bad to worse.
As well as resetting to the racetrack, that's definitely, if people look at that, that could be easily penalizable. And I've said it before. You reset the track, that's what happens. I mean, we've seen so many times what that changes and what that does. That gives you such an advantage, and we all agreed that resetting the track should not be a thing. Lucas is going to pit this time. But spinning out of Cop's Corner, that, oh my, yeah, someone could probably stay on inters to the end and still gain this, since the pit lane is so long. Kagoda's got a good point there. That is true. I mean, a lot of things change in this. 11-second gap between the race lead. Yeah, what does Davis do? When does Davis pit? I mean, the thing is, yeah, it's drying up, and, you know, the track is almost dry, but the thing is there enough time for soft tires? Is there enough time to try it? I mean, that's the question.
Dada Lucas soft.
Harrison. Yep, there you go. Burning Man ahead of Sink now. Burning Man still ahead. Go to the Font Corner. Sink is gaining 4th position into turn 1. Sink is going to try it. No, he's not. But no, we've mentioned before what the advantages of resetting to the racetrack and what that changes, what that does. We've seen before how much people get frustrated time and time again about resetting to the racetrack. We've seen 2 drivers do it this race. So I don't think the Swords will be too happy about that.
Yeah, it's in the rules,
Sync.
and
On Burning Man, 4th position. I apologize for cutting in there, but side by side, and it is Burning Man ahead still. Sync lagging, I think, as well. Also, ARL kind of running really wide there at Cop's Corner, going off. Now, I think this might be the lap or 2. We might see some guys pit. Davis, does he pit? No, he stays out. Watch Data Lucas, people say. Yeah, see how much he gains. 12 point. Yeah, now he's
Hissy
losing
pits.
time.
Hissy pits.
Alright, what does he do? Is there even enough time to go to dries? How much is left in this race? We also see Mr. Ian and Bones pitting as well. Data Lucas, behind Fire King now, losing time on these dry tires. Is it? Yeah, I think it is too early. Definitely think it is. But the 11-second gap in T-Rock has now spun there toward the final corner. Chicane. Harrison's left again, and Data Lucas goes around. It's too early for these guys.
Made a mistake here. There's still far too much spray in standing water. He's being so tentative out of the pit lane.
Now, Hissy
no grip.
has already pitted, but does CJ Pants hold on for podium then? Because the guys who's pitted for softs have really screwed themselves. What have we seen?
He's got no traction. This is the wrong decision, and he's missing a little bit front wing as well. So did that come on the pit exit? Again, another strategy failure here.
Harrison's joined back, but closer position between Data Lucas and Harrison. Lap 10 out of 13. Patriot doesn't pit. He stays out, which is probably the smarter idea now seeing this. There's still a lot of spray, though. It's taking a while to dry up. And Davis, a smarter decision. But does CJ Pants or Akimbos hold on for a podium from this? And CJ stays out. CJ could take his first podium after 11 DNFs in ARL. What a story that would be. He's yet to finish 4th or above. Pretty sure he's finished 5th once. H2O, flowing fully, and I think that's Bones out of the race, out of Cop's Corner. He spun it on the drier tires. So Burning Man's going to take advantage of Hissy in his home race. Burning Man getting on Hissy for what possibly could be his first points finish, and some of the spray is gone now. So how does this thing change with Burning Man and Hissy? Burning Man's got to take it more cautious out of the corner because he knows Hissy will be slower. Now, Hissy goes off the racetrack, and Burning Man goes by, and there's a spinner. T-Rock. Any dry tires.
Soft.
Now Data Lucas is outside the points. And we see another yellow flag as well, somewhere 12 seconds the gap. When does this dry up? I mean, when? This is so insane how I would think by now it would at least dry it up somewhat more, but it hasn't at all. And Burning Man up to P9, what could be his first points finish in ARL. His home race, I'd have to talk to him after that one, for sure. A yellow flag for Raptor, spun it right there on the soft tires. Now, close between H2O, Aaron Ocon and Florian Foley. Aaron Ocon, what a run for him. Never had a top 5 in ARL. A best 8th place finish. Florian Foley, also
Let's go wide.
Close to his best finish. And he is going wide. H2O Snail in that racing point, in that Alfa Romeo kind of sandwich with the racing points. Now we come to 2 laps to go this time. Harrison close to Data Lucas. Data Lucas stays ahead. But now I think someone that is Raptor is ran off the racetrack, and there's a yellow flag again. That is Hissy into the barrier. It's a weird place to spin it. Data Lucas also fell down the order as well.
Just going to comment
And
on
Raptor
Patriot. He
pits.
almost lost it into Village Corner at turn 3. So the intermediates, we're right on the crossover point, essentially.
I hear Polo got in chat. Cheering on Aaron Ocon. Gotta love it. Anyways, we'll get some post-race interviews in here. I have a lot of time to do it this week compared to last week. But running wide was Aaron O'Con again, holding onto that position. But H2O Snail dives it down the inside of Florian Foley. And side by side and around goes H2O Snail. If it wasn't served, it could be appealed. That's the thing with the 5 seconds. This time we'll be coming to the final lap. Patriot looking for his first win. Davis also looking to take the championship lead, but CJ Pants also looks at his first podium at Kimbos. Right behind as well to take a mistake. Aaron O'Con looking for his best finish, and Burning Man looking for his best league racing finish and his first points finish today. What could happen? Florian Foley close to Aaron O'Con as well. 7/10 is that gap between them. Aaron O'Con holding position and keeping that 5th. Going wide there at Cop's Corner. Again. Now this time with Patriot off the final corner, we will be taking the final lap. Patriot leads by 12 seconds over Davis. The track is dried up, so he cannot spin it. He cannot make a mistake. Patriot is sideways. He could be our 5th different winner of the season. And he has been here since the 2nd race of ARL. He's been there since at Bahrain. So, Patriot looking to hold on after a disqualification, a demotion to Tier 3. After Hungary, the disqualification as well. It's a spinner. It's Raptor out of the session. But a mistake by not serving a single quali ban that he had cost him a top 5. And last
enabled.
GS enabled. There you go. The soft tires might have the advantage. But as well, you had Patriot, who did not serve that quali ban. Lost a podium last week at Austria. He took a podium last season in Austria as well, though, with his best finish at a 3rd place finish. He's going to better that today.
Dada Lucas spinning at Cops again.
Florian Foley on Aaron O'Con
done.
to the outside. Switchback by Florian Foley to the outside. Side by side for P5.
As well, CJ Pants rapidly closing in on Davis, who's really struggling here to keep the intermediate tyres going.
You can
There's only
tell
a few more
Patriots
corners
happy
to
with
go.
this. You could tell Patriots happy with this one because a disqualification, a non-serving quali ban in Hungary, a podium last season in Austria, but 1 podium to now a win. Patriot gets to keep this one because he is a first-time winner and the 5th different one in Tier 3. But Hissy goes up to 11th and 4 P2. CJ Pants to his first podium, side by side.
This is unbelievable.
To the line. CJ Pants, unserved penalty, but he might take 2nd back. But CJ Pants is on the podium for the first time, and Florian Foley and Aaron O'Con battle now. 4 P5. Florian Foley goes by. Aaron O'Con gets past to the final corners. A Kimbos, a best finish by him, a P4. Florian Foley and Aaron O'Con to the line. Florian Foley takes his best finish along with Aaron O'Con as well. Aaron O'Con, P6. How about that? What a race. What a finish,
What
though.
an ending.
The finish made that better, and H2O Snail goes up to 5th. Aaron O'Con down to 8th. And Burning Man, how about this? Keep the applause going for a first points finish in league racing. Burning Man, after not having this game till a month ago, Burning Man takes a points finish. And Fire King takes P10. Oh my god, what stories do we have for this race? What a finish. What a finish. Better than the race, I think. The finish was better than the race. I don't think the race was too good, but the finish was.
Survivor who keep the tires the good temperature because they start burning out on a dry track. There's no water to play with the tires. Wow. Obviously,
What
Davis
a finish that
provisionally
was.
takes the championship lead, but with CJ Pants looking to appeal because they didn't pit, there was no penalty to serve. We have one happy guy in the
podium's
party.
happy. Yeah, I think we'll have another happy guy when we get
God.
CJ Pants in here as well.
Good job. Jay bumped me the final 3 trying to give me.
Florian P5? Good Racing
Hey,
Point points
Racing
right
Point.
there, baby.
Racing Point, hey, that's Racing Point, the first podium for the season, and that's also their first win of the season. So, Racing
Boy.
Points access. There you go. There you go. How about that?
All
Let's go, boys.
teams feeling this
Let's
podium.
go, boys.
Yeah. Still would be P3 though, which is an amazing podium, but still. What a race that was. A home podium for the first time for CJ Pants. And also, points for Burning Man. I gotta talk to him once he has a chance. But to mention, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys who started 10th or worse get in the top 10. Wow. Wow. Burning Man, make sure you do mute the mic because it is gonna echo if it doesn't. Hey, got the podium here as well. How about that, guys? How about that? I gotta start with Patriot, though. Patriot, you take Racing Points. First podium this season. Racing Podium, Racing Points as well! Oh, my God. After a lot of questions last week that it was for you about, you know, could the podium be possible? You had many problems. But you now take your first win after demotion to Tier 3 as well. Now you prove you're here to fight. How about that?
It's amazing. It's very great for the team. We're trying to cut down that gap. We're trying to challenge these Toros for the constructors lead. I'm trying to do what I can for the team. I'm trying to try and get us closer to the Toros. Good result for Florian too. P6. Good points for Racing Point. I'm just glad that I could help the team out today.
Yeah, this is the first time I think Racing Point has had double points. Or no, the second time this season. But with the podium, though, as well. With the win, this is Racing Point's first time on the podium since last season at Abu Dhabi with Riles. That was the last time Racing Point was on the podium. That's been 2 months ago. A long streak for you guys not on the podium. How happy did you make Axe with this one?
I hope he's happy. He just put in the Discord, good shit, boys. Let's go. So, pardon the swearing. Pardon the swearing.
Yeah, you're
PG
fine.
stream, by the way. Yeah, you love to see it. It's just fun
a
to
question for
show the
Patriot.
guys what's going on. It's fun to show the guys that we can get the points going, rack up these points, try and challenge Toro for the lead. We're cutting down that gap with good points today for both of us. So we're just saying, it's not over until the fat lady sings, and I don't see a fat lady. So
There you go, though. Hey, many questions were asked after Hungary of what you could possibly do in this tier. Hey, could you challenge Jetta Lucas? Could you challenge anyone else? And you definitely put the fight to them today. Now, I've got to ask you, did you have any questions about pitting late in the race, or were you thinking, hey, stay
Yep, I
out and
wouldn't
risk
do
it?
that.
oh, I was definitely thinking about it because when it stopped raining, I was like, okay, there's still water on the track. That was at like lap 8 or 9. I was concerned on the strategy. I had one of my friends watching. I'm doing a stream right now. I had one of my friends watching. He's like, "There's still water on the track. You gotta stay out." I was like, "Okay, copy." I just stayed out. The car was super understeer. You can notice that it was dry on the track, and on the final lap, DRS was enabled, so it was dry. But at that point, we had the 10-second lead, something like that. So we just limped the car, limped the inters to the finish line, and we got P1.
Yeah, we will have to find out, though, from you guys in the chat. But hey, an amazing result from you. Your first win, and this is your first podium since Austria last season. We just did Austria last week. You could have been on the podium there, but, you know, great job on the win. Congratulations. And, Milo, do you have any questions for today's winner, Patriot?
So, how did you do any wet or intermediate preparation, or did you just come into it and absolutely boss the field?
You know, about 2 hours before the race, I was like, you know, it's Britain, there's a chance it rains, so I hopped in a session. I did like 3 laps. I was like, okay, let's just pray for no rain. So yeah, I wasn't expecting rain. When I saw it in quali, what the weather and race would be like, I was like, God, no. But to my surprise, the pace was actually pretty decent. I was right on Data Lucas's bum for the start of the first lap. I almost hit him, but we did overtake him going into the final sector, and we got past, and we just held the lead from there. So
Congratulations to you.
Okay. Thank you.
On the win, yeah. Now I think with the 5-second being appealed, I'm sure after photo finish, I'm sure with you CJ, I'm sure you're gonna appeal that. From what happened there, I would assume because of that. But for now, I know you're P3 on the thing, but I'll call you P2 because of the 5 seconds, just because it could be appealed. But what an underdog story this is. 11 DNFs last week. That's how many DNFs you had. You never had a place better than 5th in ARL. You were finishing outside the points last season in Tier 2. Less than 15 points. A lot of races that you really struggled at last season. You battled with Davis, who you came to the finish with, side by side as well last season. Hey, great rivalry that was last season. But again, how about that though? An underdog story to get yourself on the podium for the first time and make the British fans happy. Tell me about it. A podium in ARL for the first time. You know, I'm sure you would be laughing by yourself. Hey, 11 DNFs. But, you know, you sit here and actually get on the podium, have the pace, and beat the people who didn't do so smart with the strategy. And you played it right. One of the Red Bulls, your teammate Hissy pitted. He got on the other bad end of it. You got on the good end of it, staying out. Tell me about it. The decision to stay out there and get yourself a podium. Hey, make sure your audio's included actually though. Cause okay. Okay. Do you want me to call you on Discord instead so we can have people hear you? Cause it just people. All right, cool. I'll get you there. All right. Let's do this. All right, let's try this. Try it this time, guys.
Do.
Alright, CJ Pants, you there? I think he's connected. Let's see. I can't hear him though. That's awesome. Let me try to connect to the call. Discord has that type of problem as well. Alright, CJ, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. But yeah, just underdog story though. 11 DNFs before. Let's talk about it though. 11 DNFs heading into this race. Talk about it though. How about that? A podium finish for you for the first time. What probably could be second. What looks to be third right now. With that appeal of a penalty, it could be second. Side by side, racing Davis to the line. About that though. Again, you raced Davis last season. You had not many points finishes. Tell me about it. The recovery from last season.
It was just kind of sticking at it. I've had so many moments in this league where I thought about giving up just because I wasn't able to get the right performances. But being able to just keep going and having some good people around me keep helping me get better is just amazing. And Davis and my sort of rivalry with him was just pushing me on, just trying to beat him.
Yeah, you guys battled last season in Tier 2 a lot during the season. You guys going back and forth, and I've got to tell you, we thought that rivalry was great for the back of the field, but now you two are at the front of the field here in Tier 3. You guys are battling for race wins, podiums, you know, now you guys are battling at the front. Tell me about the difference from last season, because last season, what didn't go so well for you?
I don't know, it's just one of those things. I just have to keep going at it. I have to just stick with it. Just keep improving. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really think straight right now.
Your first podium though in ARL, how do you describe it and stuff? Because this is amazing, especially for, you know, Red Bull Racing getting back on top with not just Hissy but you on the podium, you know, getting back up there, and now you get a podium for them, and for the British drivers in this league, you also get a podium as well with that one. Your first podium.
It's just an amazing feeling. Just getting that first one, especially at the home Grand Prix. It's just something to remember.
Yeah, let me talk about last season though. Best interview award, yeah. But the thing is about last season, not many points. Switched teams with McLaren and Haas. Gone to Rapid Extreme's team after being in McLaren with DW. You gone to Red Bull, and things have changed around for you. Heading into Tier 3 this season, you've got better finishes, you've had better runs, you're up there in the points. Tell me about it, though. Okay, so the rivalry with Davis last season, a lot of things changed between there, but your pace has gotten extremely better, and you're able to contend at the front now, and for these podiums. How did you get the podium?
To be honest, most of the strategy wasn't mine. It was all Jay Riley's. He was the one telling me to stay out, keep going, and like stay out on the inters because the track was drying up. But yeah, I had to get a bit closer with my teammate. I think that's helped me improve it. He's quite fast. And he's given me some advice on what to do in situations. So.
Tell me about the strategy call, because Hissy gone to the softs and pitted late race. You stayed out. Now, Jay Riley was helping you, but why'd you stay out? Because now that changed your teammates' race, and that also changed your race.
I don't know. I think he saw everyone else going on softs and spinning or being a lot slower than the inter runners. So he told me to stay out, and luckily I had the pace to start catching Davis on the last few laps. And when I got up to him, like a second and a half, it was just so, I don't know, just amazing how I was able to just have the pace. I don't know, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I've never done one of these before.
Yeah, one more question, though, for you before I ask Milo if he has any. Side by side of the line, though, with Davis. Great side-by-side finish. You got ahead there for P2, but the 5 seconds could be appealed like you had said, and like we had said. But side-by-side of the line, you've had many battles with Davis before. How about this one, though, to come out on the better side of it, and now you to come out with him with the cleaner version of it as well?
It's just kind of like, oh, it's just the story coming full circle, isn't it? So he's beating me, and then I get the one good race, and I've been able to do it. It's just so good. Just being able to feel the boat, just be able to do it.
Yeah, congratulations on P2, P3, wherever that goes. Milo, do you have any questions for CJ Pants? I'm trying to think of the name. I'm sorry.
Can he hear me, or are you gonna have to say it?
Might have to say it. Still in the party? Yeah, CJ, can you hear Milo if he asks you the question?
I can turn the stream up and I can hear it through them.
Okay.
Alright, we'll have a bit of delay. I'll say it clearly.
Delay, yeah.
So on the final lap, you were struggling into Sector 3. Were your tyres overheating? Did you not keep them in the right condition?
Yeah, I think the brake pressure was, and I was going a lot harder on the brakes, which might have been heating them up. Wheels started to spin a lot, so yeah, and I was going a lot slower into the corners as well, just to make sure I didn't spin and bottle it.
Congratulations on P2, P3, wherever that goes. We'll have to find out, and thank you for the call as well. So, Pigazzi story, underdog story for sure. What a story that was from CJ Pants. First podium for him. I think Davis, though, we have to go to you for sure. What could be the championship lead? What could be just 1 point behind? A lot of things could change, Davis. Well, you're sitting in a good position, though, after these last few races. Tell me about it, though, with all this.
Well,
Second place, third place, a great battle with CJ in the final lap. You spun out at one point and kept it going. Tell me about it. Did you think at any point the softs were the right choice?
well, Atlantis, he told me to stay out and hope when the DRS gets enabled that Patriot would go and just try to hold on and win it. But DRS got enabled on the final lap, so of course he stayed out. But he was just telling me to stay out and see what happens with everybody else because people were spitting on the softs in the back and everything, and the track was still damp. So, yeah.
Now, P3, P2, whatever it is, we'll have to find out after post-race appeals and everything else and post-race penalties, but still a great day from you and a podium. You couldn't really challenge your rival as much with Patriot, but you challenged CJ Pants in the final lap, final few turns. Tell me about that battle, because you guys have had battles before in the past, back in Tier 2 last season, and that didn't end too well, but this time it ended better for him, and it ended still good on you guys' side with it being a clean battle.
Well, I didn't think he was gonna catch me because, like, with 2 to go, it was like a 3.3 gap or whatever. So I was like, okay, I should have this. Entering that left-hander before the final turn, don't know what it's called. My car, I don't know if it stepped out or if he bumped me for it. I don't know what happened. All I know is that I went wide and sideways, so I was saving it. So when that happened, it allowed him to get to the side of me to contend for it. And I thought I had it at the line, but I watched the stream and he had it. But I didn't know that he had a 5 second, so I'm hoping that doesn't get appealed and I stay second. But it probably will because he said he got a legal overtake when someone spun.
Yeah, if that is the case, hopefully he clipped it, or, you know, it wasn't served. I don't think it was served because no one pitted, but still, regardless of that, a great finish today. It could be taking the championship lead, it could be 1 point behind in the championship. How much does this change your process into these next few races, because you have Italy and Germany the next 2 races as well to end off the European races?
Well, I like the span of tracks coming up. I feel like I can get some points if Chevy just doesn't show up. Then I feel like I can take the points lead at Italy if I don't have any bad luck. So I feel confident about these next couple of races.
A lot can change in the championship. We saw last season the championship lead change 4 to 5, maybe 6 times. Last season, a pair of 11 races. It's changed about 2 to 3 times already this season. Regardless of that, you know, it ain't over till it's over, but where do you see yourself compared to Chevy Giant? I know Chevy Giant had some internet problems today, and that forced him not to race today. Where do you see your chances at extending that lead, or where do you see yourself just in general in the championship, because it ain't over yet?
Well, I think I can get at least a top 3. In my opinion, if Chevy has been racing, I wouldn't have been in the position I am now because he's way faster than me. No offense to the other guys, but he's also faster than most of the guys in Tier 3 anyway, so I think if he's been racing, then that gap would be way more than what it is now, but I feel it's going to be a battle between us now, and now if Hissy and CJ can start getting points and winning, they can also maybe get into that battle, but I think it's running out of time for them.
Toro Rosso, I think will be still leading the constructor standings, but you guys had a race gap over the rest of the field except for Williams. A great race from you guys, double points. I know that's not what Fire King would want. I know you'd want more than 1 point. So how do you guys look at it with your team? Because you guys still will lead the constructors, but it's not the best day from both of you compared to last week.
Yeah, well, we've been feeling confident because, I mean, Atlantis, he just wants us to get constructors. He doesn't care about the drivers that much, and we're like, we'll try to bring up constructors. We've been practicing as a team a lot to get better at the tracks and try to get these points and just extend the gap. It was not the best week for us in Tier 3, but I think that we can overcome it and maybe extend that gap at Italy. I feel confident about it, and Fire King says that it's one of his best tracks, so hopefully he can get top 3 podium.
Congratulations on P2, P3, wherever that stands. But
you.
Milo Gaming, do you have any questions for Davis?
Unfortunately, you took my general question about the races coming ahead, but no, congratulations to you. You've been in fine form lately, and I hope it continues for you onto Monza.
Hey, we've yet to talk to the guy who got his first league racing points finish. Burning Man, I hope he's still here. Are you still there, Burning Man?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Congrats, though. P9. How about that? Home race as well. First points finish for you. Make sure your audio's included. You know, first points finish. First time in league racing, you've got this. Ferrari are now back there where they need to be in Tier 3 with you. So, again, we could have seen last week with Zig, points finish from him, but we didn't. You get a points finish before him. You've only been in the league in F1 for 4, 5, 6 races. How about that, though? Come on, man, that's great. I don't think your audio is included from the stream. Just trying to check if it's included this time. Apologize. Yeah, it's still not included. I don't know why. I'll call you on Discord if you want me to. If that works. Another Discord call. Burning Man, you there? Alright, but yeah, just speak about what you were just speaking about, though, with, the finish.
Well, the race was a lot of fun. Me and Sync racing, that was tough. Obviously, he did take me over, he did good. And it did end up with a 5-second penalty, but it's being removed, I think. But yeah, I loved it.
Out of all
Just
races...
really-
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's fine, go ahead.
Out of all races, you get your first points, finish at your home race. Out of all things, your home race, P9, how does that feel?
Also, I think I was starting to lose confidence because before every race I was starting to panic because
Yep.
I just really wanted to get P10. And well, I ended up at P9. I'm brilliant.
Yeah, this is your 6th race, if I'm correct, in league racing, so you get it done there. Congrats on that, but out of these races so far, has this been your favorite race?
Yeah, I'd say it's been my favourite. It feels like I was actually part of the race, considering I was actually racing people, whereas in the other races I feel like I was just behind, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and now you had the chance to battle with Sync, now you had the chance to battle with other guys. How did that all feel? Because this really been your first battle, and you've not really been to the F1 games, you've not really been as experienced as the other drivers in the league racing community, and now you are.
I loved battling with Sync, he did really good. Fun. He did good, I don't know.
Hopefully you can hear Milo. Can you hear Milo just to make sure if he asks you a question?
I'll speak now.
If he quickly says something, I'll see if I can hear him.
You just spoke just a second ago.
No, I can't hear him.
Alright, well, I'll get your question to, Burning Man, Milo. So what's your question if you have any? Yeah, Zigga's got a point, but hold up, I just want to answer a question. Zigga's got a point, but not a points finish, not in the top 10. He just got a fastest lap point. Go ahead, Milo.
So obviously scored 2 points today. If you score another points finish, at what circuit will it be? Just looking at the schedule and the final stretch of the season.
So, obviously you've scored, 2 points today. Now, where do you expect yourself scoring another points finish? And, where in the schedule do you see yourself doing well?
Well, I think a lot of races that are going forward, I haven't raced on that track before. Well, I haven't raced on Britain either, but I'm hoping that maybe I can consistently get P10, hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope I can. Really want to, but obviously I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to, but I really want to consistently end up P10 at least.
Right. I don't really have any other questions, but besides that, congrats on P9 and a great finish by you. Your best finish so far in league racing. Congrats to you, and I'll be hanging up the call now, so congrats. Anyways. What a race and what a finish that was. I think in general that was great. I didn't expect that at all. Milo, I don't know about you, but the finish. Oof. Better than what I thought it would be. So I know you've seen some of the races earlier this season. I know I wasn't the best at commentating them because I wasn't too much into it as the tier 2 and tier 1 races, but where do you kind of rate this race compared to the other races this season? And how do you look at it?
I'm trying to think what races I've watched. I watched Spain, but obviously that was generally Spain is hard enough to overtake and can promote a lot of car spinning, especially at like turn 2 and turn 9. I think I watched snippets of Hungary, but ultimately stopped as I was doing something else. But for my first race, I ranked that pretty high, bearing in mind it was intermediates for the whole race and no pit stop race, which in real life, one stops are very, very boring. We see in real life. There was no strategy today, but it's good seeing the drivers go for a gamble. It's good seeing them push the limits all the way, try and improve on every single lap. So it's got to be in the top 3 somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, compared to my other races this season that I've commentated from generally being there every week, Hungary and Austria have to be in my top 3, of course. And I think for sure Britain, I wouldn't say is in my top 3, but I'd say it's in my top 5.
Okay.
You know, maybe not the battles you'd want close enough, maybe not the guys you'd have close enough, maybe some guys taking some risks and taking some cautiousness, some other guys doing one or the other. So, you know, in the first place, I definitely thought it was a decent race. I did not think it was a bad race. There's probably been, I want to say, one race this season that's probably been bad in general, and that was Australia. That was just a horrible race. That was boring. I couldn't commentate that. I really couldn't. That was just bad. But I definitely want to put this race toward my top 5, or at least in it, because this race provided it all. No pit stops, like you said, and underdog stories. Burning Man, Aaron Ocon, even CJ Pants. 3 guys I don't usually talk about too often on the commentary, and those guys get an underdog finish in points finishes for all of them. I don't care what anyone says, but that's the overall of those 3 guys. An amazing story by all 3 of them. That's just a great. I don't know what to say besides that, but those 3 really show what they're capable of doing when others have trouble and when things go wrong. Burning Man spun up almost about 2 times this race I saw in the map. Aaron Ocon was contending for P5. Probably could get that P5 back based off of appeals because he got some 5-second penalties that he probably shouldn't have got. So Aaron Ocon could sit here and better his 8th place finish. You know, with all that. Even CJ Pants could get up to P2. We don't know what could happen, but heading to Britain for tomorrow for Tier 2 and Tier 1, Milo. You're racing Tier 2 tomorrow. And Tier 1 is Sunday. You commentate. What do you expect then for those races?
Well, just firstly for Tier 2, I'm passionately sending all of my
God.
weather prayers to the Codemasters F1 weather gods. Just for a dry race, like, the dynamics since we've had it, we've had monsoon, heavy rain, extreme affected races, and obviously it's changed up the results and championship a little bit, which is nice. So I think a dry race tomorrow would be great to put drivers in their paces, and then we can have a really entertaining run to the end of the season. I'd really like that for that to happen, but obviously it's dynamic, it's random. I'm not going to get wound up over it. It's just a game, honestly. But then
you're the host of the lobby, so
yeah, Tier 1 though. Obviously Boca he's ahead by over 2 race wins now in the championship, I'm pretty sure. But thinking back to LDRL midweek on Wednesday, my league, partnered league, yeah, even with a light glitch, we saw Rizone. He fought back from 8th back up to the win. He was incredible around there. Kept likes of Cody, Jack, who's also in Tier 1 as well, Mr. Boca in that 4-car train, capitalised on strategy as well with a good undercut. So that'll be a really entertaining race, I think. A lot of potential. And just remember back to Polo God's underdog pole story as well.
yeah.
We're in store for a big weekend of racing. Don't miss it.
Yeah, I also want to mention from last season as well, we had some underdog stories as well. With this track, I think if there's any track that I want to say that provides the racing and the drivers who are underdogs to get closer and get up in the fight, I think Britain is the track that you could say that for. Because last season, GSR Callum, was fighting against Riles for P2. Rapid Extreme up there, of course, with Thrasher in them. They were all fighting for a good position for the podium, and all fighting very well. Last season in Tier 1, Polo God was sitting here in the top 3 fighting as well. You know, Tax, DW, Rapalucas, where the guy is battling for the win, 3-car train. It just, I feel like this race puts people closer together than other racetracks do. I don't see any other racetrack that puts people closer together who are mainly outside the points or mainly just not running there very well. Obviously, the rain conditions and stuff like that, you know, that put Aaron Ocon up there, that put Burning Man, that put CJ, that all put guys who we did not expect to be inside the top 10 and the top 5 who really were. I did not expect that whatsoever. Obviously, the first lap crashes changed all that in the first place as well. A lot is going to happen down to these future races down in Italy, Germany. Just then we go to the America side of the world, which isn't the best right now, of course. But still, the thing is, with all that being said, Italy, Germany, 2 races that I would say is kind of DRS trains. I would say it's back and forth. So if we have a dry race for those tracks for Tier 3, I think it's overall going to be a good race. I think if there's any tier we have a dry race or just a wet race for, if there's a tier that's the worst for, I'd say it's Tier 3 because Tier 3 half the time we get the close racing for the lead, we get the close racing in general with people, and then the wet races just don't provide that in Tier 3. And I mean, we saw the battle for P5 for a little while, but besides that, it wasn't really much. It wasn't closer. It wasn't, you know, with Britain in general in the dry, it's closer and it's more packed together. So you would kind of expect that, but with the wet conditions, you don't really get that. But hey, we could see some stuff we've never seen before tomorrow. We could see some crazy action, and I would hope so. I mean, I want to see that. I want to see a good race tomorrow, and I hope we do see that, because it should be a good one. So, tomorrow, tune in at 12 Eastern, 5 UK. Tune in Sunday. We hit the record amount of viewers during the stream as well. 27 viewers at one point. We've never had that on one of these streams. So, round of applause to that, I guess. Either way. Tomorrow, Tier 2, Sunday, Tier 1, 12 Eastern, 5 UK. Don't miss it all because it's F1's home race. It's the home race for most of the drivers in the league, and it is going to be a big one tomorrow. Hopefully it's dry, I would hope, for at least a good race for the commentary booth, but a good race for the drivers and the race the drivers want. Anyways, it's me and Milo Gaming commentating this one, and we will see you guys Saturday, tomorrow, for Tier 2, 12 Eastern, 5 UK. We'll see you guys also for Sunday for 12 Eastern, 5 UK for Tier 1. We'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night.